Ramona, and welcome to Ramona Interviews. And with me in the chair today, most peacefully, is Joseph de Rivera. Hello.
Hi, Ramona. It's nice to be here.
Oh, it's wonderful to have you here. So let's just roll into this. The Peace Studies. Now, you are the professor of psychology and director of the Peace Studies program at Clark University.
Correct.
Tell me, what was your journey into the Peace Studies program, and what's it all about?
You know, it was a long journey. I was thinking about it. I think it started back during World War II. I was a kid then. I was 13 when we dropped the first atomic weapon. And I was listening to the radio. And I remember hearing the announcement that we'd invented this wonderful new bomb that would probably end the war. And I remember running into my mother, who was in the next room in the kitchen, and saying, "Mommy, did you hear we've got a new bomb?" I was really excited because my father was in the South Pacific. And to me, it meant that my daddy would be coming home.
Mm-hmm.
And she didn't look excited. And I said, "Aren't you glad?" And she said, "Joe," she said, "I am, but I can't help thinking about all those women and children that have been killed." And I think that's sort of the genesis for why I'm so interested. Like, how can we win without killing women and children? And that's the basic idea of Peace Studies and the Peace Studies program. I should mention, because although I'm mainly involved with the Peace Studies program at Clark, we have this wonderful new center in Worcester, right? The Center for Nonviolent Solutions.
Okay.
And it's doing a great job, for example, starting to teach people, starting to push the school system, starting to have courses now that actually are Peace Studies courses and teach people these things. It's a
So mini toolkits for kids.
Mini toolkits for kids, right?
Where would you like, I know that you said that you'd like the concentration to become a major.
Yes.
Major study at Clark University. What else would you like to see in the Peace Studies program? If there were some changes that you could make or something you could add more to it, what would it be?
Well, let's see. Right now at Clark, we need to have more negotiation courses. We have some, but one of the things that Worcester doesn't have is a law school. We have a wonderful medical school, but we don't have a law school. And that means that we don't have the negotiation programs in Worcester that we need to have. So I'd like to see more of that for sure.
So I know that the kids take a public speaking class.
Yes.
So you're saying that public speaking class is great, but let's add a negotiation class as well?
They would fit in nicely to that, actually. The other thing that goes way beyond Clark and Worcester is what I'd like to see our country do, because we spend so much money on war. If we spend, people think, well, peace is the absence of war, so peace doesn't cost any money. That's not it, right? Peace costs a lot of money. I've actually costed it out.
Oh, really?
And it costs, I would say, about a third as much as war.
Wow.
If you really wanted to get, you know, adequate food for people, adequate water systems for people in the world, right? An adequate environment, stop, you know, spilling oil in the Gulf. If you wanted to do all that.
But some of that could be, wouldn't have to necessarily be taxpayer money, because we have organizations who are already trying to help with those things. So maybe streamlining those to fit into that initiative.
But we got that, but why not take, as a matter of fact, there's a bill in Congress now, right? Why not take 2% of what we spend on the military budget and spend it on a Department of Peace?
That'd be interesting.
Well, it would be nice, right?
Yeah.
Now, right now, that's, you know, like such a, I mean, well, there's maybe 70 people that would vote for that out of 450, right? But it's going there, right? Eventually, we'll have to have it. We're getting it in other countries. Eventually, if we institutionalize peace and start spending some money on peace, take it out of the military budget, put it into the peace budget, we would have peace. Right now, in the Middle East, what are we giving? Right, Israel maybe $2 billion. Then we give Egypt. We want to be fair, right? We give Egypt $2 billion for military stuff. If we gave those billions of dollars for peace work, we'd have peace in the Middle East. I'm sure of it. We know the techniques. We just aren't yet spending the money on using the tools that we have.
Yeah.
Drives me crazy.
He's holding his toolbox and he's saying, "What? Come on!"
I have to go to my personal toolbox so that I won't get too mad.
There you go. That's just fascinating. Never have I thought of it so probably succinctly.
Yeah.
You know, and it is very viable.
It's very viable. All we got to do is get organized.
Believe.
Right.
You got to believe, and you have to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to say this is now a priority, and then what it means, and it's much more far-reaching. And that's why I'm glad you, in the kind of the beginning, you know, what is peace? So before we wrap, you know, what does peace mean, as far as the peace studies? I mean, peace for a lot of people think they think peace,
right.
you know, be cool, lay back. You know, no worries, you know, or be at peace. You could be more spiritual and say that it's or religious, if you want to call it that, where you're more centered. You know, you're focusing on empathy and compassion and love, and that, you know, gives you a sense of peace.
Yes, and that's that fourth toolkit.
And the fourth toolkit, you know, but what is peace? Because when you just say peace, you talk a wide range. So just give us a quick recap. What is peace to the Peace Studies program? What would that mean to the world?
You know, the simplest thing would be, it's taking conflicts, because you're going to have conflicts, right?
The natural part of life?
A natural part of life. How do you take those conflicts and rather have them be destructive? How do you have them be creative? So how do you take those conflicts and turn them into something that's creative? That's the essence of Peace Studies, as it were.
Wow.
And that would create then a positive peace, not just the absence of war, the absence of bullying, or the absence of people killing each other, but the presence of kindness, of people caring for each other, of building justice in the world so that it's fair. Because that's what we really want, is a system that's fair for everybody.
Yeah, I believe that most people feel that way.
I think
Absolutely.
so. Right. I think most people want a fair, a peaceful world.
Yeah.
That's what we want.
Yeah.
But to get there, you got to use all those tools.
In the toolbox.
And the toolbox, right.
Thank you so much for coming on and enlightening us.
Thank you so much for asking me, Ramona.
You're welcome. I am Ramona, and you've been watching Ramona Interviews. Have a wonderful week, Worcester.